This week on the Beyond Mods podcast, we are reviewing a video game, and that video game is called It Takes Two, which this intro takes as well.
That's the predecessor to Split Fiction, a game that we've reviewed previously. So join us to hear all our thoughts, what we think about the game, from the beginning to end. Come and join us.
In another world.
Welcome back to the Beyond Worlds podcast. I am Beyond Joe.
And I am Stephen, still, always.
Very first thing I want to say is, he may be listening, he may not, but I want to say a massive congratulations to our friend Eddie, who we've mentioned a couple times in the podcast. He has become a Twitch affiliate in the space of a week. So I think that's a big round of applause, that guy. That's freaking impressive. Yeah. So Eddie, if you're listening,
he's been doing some insane streams, man. They're like 6 hours long. I honestly, I can put him on to go to sleep, and it's just like Eddie talking to me while I'm going to sleep. It's great.
But yeah, that's some freaking commitment. So deserved.
Yeah.
But
GG,
also
bro.
still very impressive to get it that quickly. We are not affiliated, and we've been streaming for a
long time.
A long time. We don't care.
But we don't do consistent like day after day after day.
And we stream for
very often
an hour and a half. So
yeah.
However, that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about a game that we did stream, though, aren't we?
We did, and we had some fun.
We collaborated.
There was much collaboration, much. Even though our characters didn't want to, they hated each other.
Oh, royally hated each other.
Man.
We'll get into that. Yeah, It Takes Two. So it's the prequel. Well, it's not the prequel.
Predecessor.
To a game that we've reviewed and a game that we've played, Split Fiction. And very similar concept. 2 players, very
side by side,
varying different levels of puzzles and
platforming, and like technically an element of PvP in this as well.
Oh, the
player versus player
games and stuff.
Yeah. There was some not competitive stuff, but competitive stuff as well.
Yeah,
which has replayability as well, because you could go back to them in the menu and just do those if you wanted. That was fun.
I didn't really think about that. I wonder if you can do that in Split Fiction, because the mini games of Split Fiction seemed. I can't even think.
They weren't like mini games. They were like side worlds.
Yeah, it was
weren't
more
they?
Side worlds, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
it was like their unfinished stories. I think maybe that might just be headcanon, but.
I feel you're right. It's the little.
I like it, so it is that for me from now on. It's their unfinished stories.
I think It Takes Two, because we play Split Fiction first. It's going to be a bit hard to not talk about Split Fiction while we go through this.
Yeah, I mean it's a fair comparison. 100%. Same studio, same game design. Really, just new characters and a fresh coat of paint. You know.
So yeah, in It Takes Two, you play as Cody and I always forget. Is it May or is May your daughter?
No.
Joy. No,
Joy.
Joy's the plant.
No. Yeah, Joy was the plant, wasn't she?
Well, now this is.
This is embarrassing.
As well. It Takes Two characters. Cody and May.
Yeah.
Cody and May. So then who's the... It doesn't matter. So you're a husband and wife, and at the very start, clearly hate each other, and you're very much people at the point of the start.
They're about to get divorced, aren't they?
Yeah, and it seems very much like the last point of divorce, almost like signing papers. So I think they seem to have gone through the
they've gone through all the legal stuff, and it's just down to you sign this, I'm going to sign this, and we're done.
And they are both very happy with that outcome.
Yeah,
they hate each other. So,
but it does leave their daughter Rose in a sad spot because her mum and dad have to explain to her that they're not going to be staying together and she has to go live with one of them. And yeah, that's never going to be tough for a child. This game was hella rough to watch.
Yeah.
And that's for a non-parent. Like this. So kudos to you for not feeling worse. I'm sure you probably did feel worse than you even let on, but
no, there's parts which were just horrible, and it's because I have Bowie, because I have a daughter. And it was really hard. So we'll get into it, a bit, but just like in terms of the story, Rose cries on some dolls that she has, which then transports your soul almost into the dolls.
Yeah.
Because their human bodies stay there sort of comatose in the house.
Yeah.
Which is even sadder because this poor little girl keeps trying to talk to their parents who are almost like sleeping and ignoring her. It's just like it compounds this like neglect this poor little girl is going through at this point in her life. And it's just really, really sad. They're not bad parents. They feed her, they look after her. She has plenty of toys, she has plenty of care, but they're not great parents either.
I'm going to be objective here. I think that's the parent in you saying that. Fair. You're judging them, and we have no basis for that judgment. I would say the dad seemed pretty cool. Like he was obviously a stay-at-home dad, right? Yes. Nice one, studio for the flip gender roles, dad staying home, mum being a workaholic. That was cool. That must be quite refreshing to see as a father. And I don't think either of them were portrayed negatively before we got into it. And I don't know. I feel like it was just a bit of a stereotypical one partner works too much, other feels neglected, and like they have to do everything at home. And it was just the gender roles were sort of flipped in that, you know? Yeah. So does that make them not great parents? We don't know, because until she told them about she got told about everything, the kid seemed happy, man.
I mean, yeah, she thought she was the cause of. So, skips the
until then.
She thought she was the cause of all their problems. They decided that the easiest way to make so they put their needs above hers. That's how I see it, and that's where I'm like,
okay, all right, and okay, sense, no, they're bad parents. Fuck them. I'm not remembering right, man.
It's just the elephant and choosing. Obsessed with making their daughter cry. That all they want to do is make her cry.
But yeah.
They didn't think about it in a way. They're like, oh, she cried once, let's make her cry again. And the only one who had her back at that point was the silly monkey toy, who was just like, no, don't make my Rose cry.
I feel like the Book of Love, Dr. Hakim, the Book of Love, was a bit of an instigator in that. We're skipping way far ahead, but although I suppose that is the point, right? He's not there to tell you everything. Just tell you to collaborate. They collaborated wrong that time. Really, really wrong that time. Dude, that was a horrific scene. Yeah. And things like I didn't want to do it at that point. I just stood there. I was hoping there was going to be like a "you're a good person" moment. Yeah, no. Her Rose's favorite toy, Cutie, the elephant queen. Cody and May rip her ear off, and like you trying to throw her off at the top of a castle, bro. What the heck? That was a standout wow moment. Like, damn, it was really like in there. The elephant's begging for her life. Like, yep, sorry, nope. And then you just end up pulling her leg off, pulling her ear off, and like. Yeah, and Rose just like breaks down crying, and then they like shower it in her tears in joy. Like, Jesus Christ, man, they really were bad parents, weren't they? Forgive me.
So again, not
in that moment,
they're bad,
we don't know about them from before.
That's the thing. They're not necessarily bad, but they're not great.
in that moment, as the objective non-parent, they were bad parents, bro. For that 10 seconds, they both deserved a beating.
Because parenting is obviously hard, and so it's a hard story to write. And
Hardest job in the world. Most people are very successful though.
But yeah, what did you think about the game as a whole? So story-wise, it was what it is, but the game as a whole.
Gameplay-wise, it was great. Visually stunning. I will remember that first time we went into the beehive.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Oh, and that, like, I think that was the first point we stopped playing, just because we both like stopped and were like, "What the fuck?" Like it honestly felt like that. I've very rarely a game does that to me with a background. Like, no, not in a long time. I like that was, and it was just a beehive. But the way they got the light coming through and everything, stunning. And then that last level, the music level, that looked, again, I mean, super trippy. I mean, no secret about me and you. We like super trippy stuff. That visually, again, stunning. Narratively, their ending was very poor. Very, very poor, in my opinion. I understand it. Yes, but to do all of that work and then the game just end like that.
Yeah,
like
a wet fart.
Like Split Fiction. This is where my first first of many comparisons have come in. Just all the way through, you like the game made you feel. That's why it was so disappointing, because they built it to this crescendo, and then the way I discussed it with Dan was May goes, oh, let's make out. Yeah. Game over. Like, what? Really? Like, it just felt like there was another half hour, maybe, if that. Just you get that bit over with. Like, I think we said, get that bit over with, and then there's the rush to go get her. Yeah. Like, she still, all that shit still happens, but I don't know, they just needed one extra little bit, I feel like. And whereas Split Fiction was just consistent all the way through, banger, 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 and the same, visually amazing, gameplay wise amazing. I'm trying to feel like which one had a bit more variety, but I feel like it's hard to compare the two, even though they're so similar, because they took very different approaches. Yeah. Like, although Split Fiction, you kind of only went mainly like sci-fi or fantasy, because it was all their different stories. There was a lot of different places they could go. Whereas It Takes Two, they were restricted by their environment, right? So it was just all through their house. Yes and no.
It was to begin with, and then when we got to Rose's room, so the shed and the tree, you're in a shed, you're in a tree, and
and then we started going into like outer space shit. And stuff,
and then suddenly we're out of space. The shed and the tree, obviously, it's a much bigger tree than it ever would be. It's a fantasy.
Yeah, they're all TARDISes.
Yeah,
they're all bigger on the
inside.
When you
get to the room, that's when it became a bit more like, just random, but not in a bad way.
Yeah, I suppose when Dr. Book starts sending them to different places.
The garden, the attic, those three.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Well, and was the cuckoo clock part of that as well? Yeah. So there's like a huge chunk of the game is him sending you off
to random places. Yeah. And I suppose in that sense, then it does give you a bit more variety because you're variety of setting. So yeah, I'd say maybe then technically a bit more variety of setting, but I don't know. Different games need different things.
For me, it's on reflection, and it took sort of a couple of days away, because It Takes Two I thought was a great game. It just didn't hit me the same way Split did, and I realised what it was. In It Takes Two, you get various different weapons and mechanics. So you can float, you can jump, you can magnetize. You might have an explodey device or a fire device or a water can, things like this. So the gameplay itself is often very similar. Whereas in Split Fiction, it was the gameplay that changed. You had
Yeah.
like a
Okay. Yeah.
2D section, you had a
Yeah.
fighting game, you had a flying game. It was like all different game styles packed into
Yeah.
one game. Whereas
And
this, I didn't think it was more stylistic. It was more stuff.
they did sort of have they sort of had that in It Takes Two though, but in like smaller doses, right? Because there was the part where I was flying the plane and you had the Street Fighter battle on top. Then we played Diablo. There was the ARPG moment. I
Yes,
was
there
the
was.
wizard. So they're a little bit,
You're
but no,
right. It
you
just
are.
didn't sit. It did. I didn't
It
even
was so
remember
small.
those. Yeah, because they were so. And yeah.
It feels like maybe they were just like throwing the homages out there with those ones more so, less so than making them core gameplay parts of the level. It was just a little bit of the level, like because the squirrel thing was like right at the end. I still feel like we need to redo that one on the other way around because I need to see if May can do a Hadouken.
Yeah, I was like, I'm trying.
It's okay, man. I needed to fly. But I do want to. I just want to see if she can do the Hadouken, or something, because she must be able to. Like they must have put that in there.
Oh, what was the point? Oh yeah, and there was a bit in it with the Rainbow Road from Mario Kart, and I went, "This is ripped directly from Mario Kart," and they said something along
then
the
they
lines
said
like,
it.
How do we rip this from a?
We've been here.
fighting
We've
game
been here
or something?
before. Doesn't didn't they just say this looks oddly familiar or something like that? They like, it was like a little nod.
More, I think it was even more in the head of like, yeah.
I mean, they did like let it sink in to start, and they even had the only thing they were missing were boxes. Like
Yes.
they even had like speed moments. I bet you we probably could have jumped off at one point and landed where we needed to go. There's a speed run strat there for sure.
Well, that was available in a lot of the what do you call it, grinding. You could often when we'd be racing, there was a point where there's a spiral, and I cheesed it, and you still won. But I did it by jumping off the platform. What do you, it's hard to get much compare. It's got great platforming, but compared to the Split Fiction, I felt that it was a lot less precise, and I guess it's because it's the game that came before.
Yeah,
So
it's like 4 years before, right? Yeah. So it was like 2001 release, 2002. So, yeah, I guess evolution of game systems a bit. They've had a bit of a chance to refine themselves. You know, yeah, for sure. But even still, like the freedom that you had was still really cool. Like you know me, I see loads of boxes stacked up. I'm like, oh, how high can I get up these before there's an invisible wall? And I got pretty high in some places. There wasn't many invisible walls. There were points I found a couple, but not like. I mean, I didn't do crazy amounts of exploring towards the end, but like that was cool. Like the fact that you could actually just where there was all like lots of like in the snow level, there were lots of levels to it, and I found loads of places I could just like jump, dash, jump, and yeah. I can't remember as much with Split Fiction where like I messed the character. Because I was playing with Cody, right? His character model was just so funny when you were like dashing around and running. Like I'd sprint and I'd be like running with my arms behind me, like, and it was ridiculous. And I figured out that you could animation cancel the butt slam thing into a dash.
Yeah.
And I just, as soon as I knew I could do it, it had served no purpose whatsoever. But I just really like doing it, so I just keep jumping. Animation cancel to dash and it served no purpose, but it was fun. And I don't remember anything like maybe just because it was a bit more crisp, but I don't know. I enjoyed the jankiness of that, and I feel like with Split Fiction, I couldn't do as much like get up high exploring. It was more like no, we've got to keep going, and it was much more objective driven. Although this was, I just feel like the areas felt bigger to explore. It's been like the last place just before the concert, there was loads of places we could just like start climbing up, and most of it was sort of related because it was like the final bit, but that was stuff like that was fun.
I found that in the garden as well when we were just pre the Joy boss fight. so the flower boss fight. There was a point when we were like, oh, look, heaters and this, and I'm sure there's something more to it that we just missed. Because it seemed like you could get really high up in there. But that's
no. I think we just did that bit early. I think we turned those on early because then there was something above, and then there were some flowers that spawned. So, like as soon as we turned something off. So I think if we hadn't have done that, we would have had to go turn those heaters on for the flowers to spawn. Maybe I might be wrong, but
the thing is, because, and I don't know what they could do to make it different, but in Split Fiction, again, if you were to explore, you might find a secret level. So there was like you couldn't just randomly platform,
but there were extra places.
Whereas in It Takes Two, you could randomly platform to find most of the time, because the secret games weren't really hidden; they were just there.
A lot of them were just there, but there were some that I mean, we missed a bunch.
I think it's because we may have just ran past them because they were in the main area. That's what I genuinely do believe, especially considering that last bit.
Maybe
we were like, oh look, there's a track here. Oh look, there's this here. Oh wait, I was not, because if we find one, I'd be like, oh, that's the bit for the area. I wouldn't expect another 4 to be sort of around me, if that makes sense. That last area in the attic, there was like 4 different, because there was, but there was a lot.
Maybe we'll see. Well, I'll have a look and see if there's a list.
But to jump back a little bit to where you're talking about the ending, for me, the reason it fell so flat is because throughout the game we had fun boss fights. I wouldn't say amazing. They weren't like, oh my god, this is the best boss I've ever fought. But they were like all different. You had a beam and you had to like go around and grind.
Yeah, that was long.
A killer vacuum cleaner that had some different, sort of techniques. What else did we have? A giant squid. We had chess
on the
games.
boat.
I don't even remember the chess game. Do you remember a chess game? I remember playing chess with you, but not like a chess boss.
No, I don't remember playing a chess boss.
Yeah, apparently there was a chess boss. And then obviously,
man, even that first boss took really sort of set the tone for the game because
and it was dark, was it, with the eyeball and the
that's what I mean. Like to beat the Hoover, which we'd forgotten about in the attic and left to like collect dust, and we go up to it with its own suction cups and make it suck out its eyes. Like what?
It's like dark comedy. This game, I'd say, which is where having the child in there makes. Get that? It's trying
cut into her all the time, like just either crying, trying to wake up mom and dad. It's like, bro, man,
mummy, please, mummy, I really miss you, mummy.
I just want to play video games, mate.
But talking about this boss, the last boss fight we had
was Joy. Yeah.
Because after that, you've then got that was Cody's sort of passion of gardening and see Joy, and then we get on to May's passion, and yes, that was a massive level. And I said,
it was big.
3 checkpoints to begin with. Get the music, or get the lights, get the mics, and get something. 3 things. Once we did those, okay, now get this. Okay, we'll
get the audience.
Okay, now get the musicians. Okay, why didn't you just say there's 5 things to get from the start?
Oh no, so the musicians were part of the original 3, and then it was the audience.
No, because there was 2 more.
No, it was the audience. No, it was the audience. We went and got the audience, did the DDR. The fake crappy DDR thing. That lot being the last gameplay bit was disappointing as fuck.
That DDR bit was bad. It was bad.
But we got transported to a different place when we went to the musician area. That had something before we could get to the musicians, and then we got to the musicians. And because when we got to the oh no, that was towards the end. Yeah, when we got to the musicians, we kept crashing out, didn't we? Last or session before last. Or last session.
But
EA said no.
No boss fight at all. Not even like a semi-ish. I mean, like you said, the DDR thing. They could have made that a boss fight.
Yeah,
so easily.
Either that, or while she's singing, I had to control light and something, and you had to Guitar Hero it or something, just something. But
yeah, you could have Guitar Hero and I could have sung, and it could have been the same thing, but hard. And I don't know. It was so disappointing for me.
Yeah, it fell very, very flat. Like,
And there was three first because it was speakers, lights, and mics.
Mm.
Then we went and got the musicians.
Mm.
Then we had to go and get the
oh,
audience.
okay.
And so it was just like the three. Then one more. Oh, and one more. So I was personally already a bit like,
What's going on here?
Moving the goalpost a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's where I was like, okay, this will be the bar. Okay, this will be big. Okay, this will be big. But it was
just collect fetch quests.
Collect stuff. Go do this.
Yeah, what? You don't end the game on a fetch quest, guys.
It's
Come on.
And
that's a troll.
The boss. There was a boss fight in the Keys. There was some demons who had keys and a gilded key. There was a bit. That wasn't a boss fight. There was
no health bar.
The reason it was frustrating is because our stream kept.
Yeah, that was EA saying no. There was no. EA was the boss, not the game.
I remember saying to you as it was coming up, I was like, "This might be the end." And you went, "No way, no way." I was like,
"Yeah, because it hadn't.
No way.
It hadn't built. It had. There was gonna be another bit."
I feel like for a game to end, you need two potentials. So the story was a bit meh. So you could tie up the story nicely, or number two, you could have a nice big boss fight and make it gameplay end. But the story, as we sort of said, they hated each other, vicious, nasty people to each other. They might be lovely people by themselves, but they were horrible to each other.
Yeah.
Until we get to a snow globe, and then they start being nicer, and then out of nowhere, they decide they're not getting a divorce. Well, we assume they're not getting a divorce anymore.
Yeah.
Like, whoa! We did that in the space of
not very long.
The attic. Like, how have we just decided everything's okay? So that doesn't count. The story was naff. Okay, well, gameplay-wise, it must have been a great ending. No, it was a wet fart.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't ruin the game, but it's disappointing.
And the problem is because you were emotionally invested as well, right? It wasn't just a game because it's a bit slower. The story beats were a lot more personal. Well, no, because the other one dealt with a lot of death, right? But but to involve a child like that in that way, I think it's there to evoke an emotion, and it does because you obviously feel bad for the little girl the whole way through, and you do some horrible things, and then all you do is kiss and make up.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
I can understand some people probably really like this. That's why it's rated as highly as it is. But man, from it went from like a 9 to a 7 for me. You know, if there's that extra half hour, it would have been a 9 for sure.
Well, speaking of scores, what I thought was quite interesting, because when we finished, the first thing you said was like, I'm messaging Dan. He's full of shit. How is this? How would you see this as better than Split Fiction? Like, I can see why.
Audience score was higher, right? That's kind of crazy.
Audience score is higher on It Takes Two. Yeah. And I wonder, depending on what order you play it in, maybe that will change how you feel. So we've got an 8.8 Metacritic score for users. This is It Takes Two, and an 88 critic review.
Does also have 900 extra user reviews though.
Okay, so maybe after some
time compared to like double the amount of critic reviews to get to 91, I would say.
I mean,
that would with less reviews you can get a higher number.
Yeah.
So I would say, well, for the I don't know.
But so what we sort of hinted there is Split Fiction has a slightly better critic score than It Takes Two, but a slightly lower user score. And I think that maybe to do with we sort of talk about memory bias. I think if you're thinking back to It Takes Two while playing Split Fiction, there'll be parts that it's a more personal story. Split Fiction is a stupid story. Split Fiction is just daft. It's its story and it works for a daft stupid game. It has an ending. It has a fantastic last level, fantastic.
It's a video game.
Yeah.
Like this was like playing it. I never really played those like Walking Dead book games or whatever. This felt like one of them, but with just more gameplay. You know, like because the story beats were so tough, like, and the gameplay beats made it like reinforce that. I feel like emotionally it probably would have evoked a lot more from people, so I can understand why it probably does get a higher user score. I'm looking at it from a gamer as a gamer, and Split Fiction to me is a better game. Like it plays better. My opinion is that it is better. It's good, better gameplay. It's better. for it being a video game, has a great story. You know, video games aren't all meant to be based into real life. You can have some wacky, stupid shit that happens. I mean, these guys got turned into dolls by some tears. So,
Yeah.
And the squirrel, there was a squirrel Che Guevara.
Yeah,
that had a freaking like army corps. But I feel like It Takes Two would evoke a lot more emotion from people because of the child element. Although Split Fiction deals with a lot of like parental death, and like familial death, I feel like that's something probably maybe not less people would have experienced. Don't want to say that, but I feel like maybe a lot more gamers would have experienced some childhood neglect.
Yeah.
As well. So with that, I think emotionally the story of It Takes Two would be higher rated to me, which sounds, I think that I can see why it would have a higher user score, because people might relate to it a bit more as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's loads of reasons it could have a higher user score. Lots of people could just think it's a great game, and I could be chatting out my ass. But for me, Split Fiction would be better.
What we sort of talked at the end of the game, like how could this have? It would have been some simple things to have not made me upset with the ending. So if they had not massively hated each other from the start, they'd been struggling. That would have helped. So it went from 100 to 0 instead of going from like 50 to 0 or something like that. Do you know what I mean? And then also, so if they'd have dealt with that relationship a bit earlier, if there'd been a boss fight, it would have helped. If there'd been some sort of a turnaround explanation, or if they'd decided that despite everything, it's best to be friends, but to put our daughter first, something like that. Because what Split Fiction did is it learned from all those, in my opinion, mistakes, and it made sure that, because the girls did start going on a lot earlier, they did like start chatting and being like, they hate each other to begin with, found each other really, well, one of them specifically, but they
were friends. They were friends by the end. There was, to the point they wrote a book together. Even if they were just thinking of the capital, of the money of it,
money.
You wouldn't, would you? Like, those two definitely wouldn't have. Well, no. Zoe, she would have been down. Mia, no. Fuck you, I'm going to write about cyber ninjas.
I believe that they could have written a book. I do not believe in a million years Cody and May would get back together.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I can't comment. I'm not the relationship guy, right? So I don't know what it would take to repair a relationship that's broken down like that. I know it wouldn't happen that quickly. I know crazy circumstances lead to different emotions, which, would maybe rekindle something, but I feel like the way that they did it, if you put it into a real life setting, they got a little spark back, but they didn't fix the problem, and they didn't seem like that they were at a point where they wanted to fix the problem.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that your little girl fucking runs away from home and tells you, "Yeah, sorry, I'm the problem in your relationship." That would give some people a kick in the ass, but for 3/4 of that game, they weren't those people. So I don't believe that they can be those people, no matter how much collaboration they did. I don't believe it. And it's a shame because I was invested. I was like, yeah, cool, get back together, guys, sort out your shit and look after your little girl. But no, sorry.
So, but prior to playing the game, so you spoke there, something that reminded me. There was two things I knew about. So I'd listened to some reviews and some views on the game, and they had spoken about the elephant, not in detail, but just like, holy shit, this elephant section. And they'd spoken about the book. Now, Hakim, the book, Dr. Hakim, I think.
Dr. Hakim, the Book of Love.
I was interested because I was wondering if at any point you would be like, huh, but the game actually got quite negatively bombed when the book was first revealed because it was a stereotype of this sort of like Mexican and this. But it's like,
fuck.
So all right, we'll get.
Excuse my language.
What was your take on that? What do you think about the book, Dr. Hakim? So yeah.
Well, with respect to love and stuff like that, I Latin. Yeah,
I'm
so I'm trying to find the right way to word this so I don't sound bad and get obviously Keith and Bella and Lindsay aren't going to hate me, but I can't think of the word that I connect Latinos and Latinos with like passion.
Very
and
good point. Yeah,
and I'm like, yeah, who do I want? Do I want some Ruski guy talking to? You all love each other. Collaboration. They would have got into gear a lot quicker, but you know.
I think the point people are making is that the fact that it had no accent at all was an issue.
I just pictured Antonio Banderas, right?
Yes,
that's instantly what my mind went to. I was like, cool, bro. I mean, we were brought up on different movies, man. Like people gotta relax.
I would Jesus Christ. Know if anyone Mexican found it offensive because I'm
Mexican, Spanish, Brazilian, any of you. Come on.
I'm tired of people taking offense for other people.
Yeah, bro.
If someone is offended, back them. Unless someone tells you they're offended, you don't need to get offended for them to make them feel better. Fuck that.
You're the problem.
Yeah, you're making an issue. Sorry, a little bit off topic, but one of my favorite things is the snow. When Snow White was being poured out, and there's all these things about dwarfs or people with dwarfism, and there was a guy on there, a nice white male, blah blah blah, and he was like, "Yeah, you can't call them dwarfs," and a dwarf was like, "What do you mean? It's what I call myself. What are you talking about? I'm happy to be called it." And the guy,
no, you're a small person.
No, you can't be called that. It's like it's me. I'm talking about myself. Like,
you know what we say to those people?
So yeah, if you've heard about this issue of the book, maybe if you've got any Mexican Spanish friends, check with them, see what their opinion is. I thought he was great. He wasn't an offensive character.
No,
he was funny.
No, that's hilarious. I mean, there's always someone offended online, right? I mean,
yeah, but it was.
Was it big? Like a lot of hate about it.
Like being not cancel the game, but to the point of being like you're tone deaf. It's
really
you shouldn't do that. Yeah. I wouldn't have been surprised if they'd have changed his voice. That's how much people were like kicking off.
Not much. I mean, I didn't follow this game its release. I had no fucking clue. I listened, we'll fucking play this. I'm going to shoot shit and play Final Fantasy. I was a bit more less open-minded. I was less open-minded about my video games then. But that's mad, bro.
He's a great character.
It's a character, bro.
And it's a stupid comedy character.
He was. What if the book was just Mexican? Like, you know. I mean, if you're the one that's putting negative stereotypes on it, like engage your. No,
if anything,
you're the one putting that shit on that character, not them. He just wants to help them get back together.
Did you have a favorite level? Was there something that you really stuck in your memory?
I mean, I really appreciated the ARPG moment, like just that little bit. It wasn't my favorite. I think that actually might be my favorite bit, because I was so deep into Path of Exile and 2 and Diablo. I was like, oh my god, we're just playing my games, and I just kept doing dumb stuff that I do in those games, like trying to dash attacks and like I do stupid shit, and I don't know, I just really appreciated that bit. But
what level was that? Because I remember doing
I can't remember what that might have been. I feel like that was either so the tree was Street Fighter, so I feel like it might have been the Cuckoo Clock.
Okay, yeah, that's yeah, maybe weird, I remember doing it, but I can't remember the context. I can't remember the level.
No,
I can't remember what it looks like.
It was very short. And like I had some freezy powers, and you had you were the knight, and I was the mage. You had like a spear and a shield, I think, and I had I think it might have been before the mechanical ball, maybe. Okay. I might be wrong there, but
so that's
that was actually a cool boss as well. I enjoyed that one. That was a bit that was like an outside the boxy.
Oh, that was the one where we tried to get him in the hole, right?
Yeah, you had to get him to run over it so something would fall on him, and you had to teleport away while that one. Yeah. That one was cool.
That was cool. I loved how the bosses.
All the boss fight battles are really good. Like they're really good at making them.
And stuff, right?
Yeah.
I thought the trees, and which is funny because it's second level, but I really enjoyed the tree as a whole. I thought it didn't stay for too long. It had various different things. The squirrels are hilarious, and I felt like I was still in their garden. That's I think up until Roses, as I said, Roses Room onwards, I felt it was two parts of two different games.
Yeah, it was less. It was more grounded.
Yeah.
Right. It was less. It was less fantastical. It was still pretty fantastical, but it like incorporating all their like household items.
Yeah.
Like that. I felt like that should have just carried on.
Yeah.
You know, because they sort of did it with the plant with
garden,
thing. At the end, but other than that,
Snow Globe and the Attic, those three, I just thought were like,
this is
fun, great fun. But I love that the Burrowers, Honey I Shrunk the Kids. That I think I said when we were playing, is like I love anything where I'm small in the normal world, and I didn't. We weren't actually. I don't think in a lot of those.
It stopped doing that, didn't it? Yeah. We were just in the
we were just in the world. So, yeah. So you sort of gave it away at the start. 7 out of 10. Would you recommend this one?
Yeah, I'd still recommend it. I mean, especially any couple, any duo of friends. Like, it's worth playing for the gameplay.
Yeah.
If you're in it for the story, you might see it differently to how I did. That's my opinion on the ending. Anyone else might really enjoy it. They might think that is a great way for it to end. What do I know? Form your own opinions, people. Don't listen to what everybody tells you. That was really racist. Please cut that out. It wasn't racist at all. I'd be like Dr. Hakim. Impressions are fine.
They are. You're doing it out of respect. You're not doing it out of.
There's only 4 people going to listen to this anyway. And one of I was gonna.
Be surprised. You need to start our numbers, mate. We are.
Have we got double digits
on Spotify?
Oh, damn!
That sort of stuff. It was a great game. I think. Oh, important to note as well. We did play PS5 version. So there's PS4 version, PS5 version. We played the PS5, so potentially it may have run slightly better. I don't know. I don't know. I've not played the PS4 version. Yeah. Great game overall. Fully recommend it. I did try and play this game right when it came out. So it came out on Game Pass. Me and my wife tried to play it. Didn't end well. It's important to note some of this game can be a little bit challenging. However, it doesn't matter. If you die, you get to go. But yeah, there was definitely some challenging bits. I killed you a lot, without a doubt. I killed you a lot.
Yeah, I probably killed you a bunch.
Yeah, not as much. But yeah, so bear in mind, if you are like May and Cody and your relationship's a bit on the rocks, this will not bring you closer together. I'll say that. Who knows? It might. But it has the potential of if they're not a gamer, if the second person is a gamer, they're not going to enjoy this game. It's not like a my first game.
No, yeah, I would agree with that. You do need sort of like an element of, oh, I see boxes and a hole that I'm probably meant to go jump up those boxes and go up a hole. But that's the point of collaboration, Joe. You're meant to help.
Yeah, I'm not great with my partner.
But I'm like that too. When I'm playing a game, I'm playing the game. I'm not like when we play, I'm like, you'll be talking and I'm like, I'm killing this thing, bro. Stop it.
Well, we don't talk a lot. We don't. Like, we just sort of like unagi a lot of the time.
We're both gamers. We know what we got to do. So
I see you veer off to the left, so I veer to the right. It's just what we do.
I'll explore this bit, you explore that bit. You got to do recon for each other, yeah. So there's no point both of us going the same way if it's a big open room. You find something cool, you'll say something. If I find something cool, I'll say something.
So there you have it. That's what we think about It Takes Two. If you're curious about Split Fiction, if you're thinking, maybe I want to hear more about that, we have an episode. We did it first.
Would you believe it?
If you want to watch more of us play games, check that out. Our entire playthrough will go up on YouTube. So do search that out and find it too. Until next time, I've been Beyond Joe.
And I am Steven.
Thank you for joining us.
In Collaboration Land.